time, motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're up dead early and it's another marvelous Monday, the first Monday of the year. Happy 2025, everybody. My name is Mark Daniel.
Good morning, I'm Tamika Cartwright.
And we're back, everybody. I mean, we've always been here, but we back. It's the first Monday of January 2025 and everything is back in full swing. We back to work, we back to school, we back to the daily routine. We back.
Back to traffic.
No, no traffic this morning, everybody. Just if y'all didn't get the notice, everything is starting an hour later this morning.
Really?
Yeah. So everybody just go leave the house at 10, at 11. So those of us who have to leave at 8 and 9 can actually make it there, right?
Oh my goodness.
Traffic. But as a reminder, you're gonna be on the road today. Just be patient. It's the first day back. Everybody want to be on time. Everybody wants to get there safely, show off their new stuff that they got for the Christmas season. But yeah, take your time, man. I mean, no road rage, right? That should be the motto.
Yeah, no road rage for real. But you know what? I mean, the kids are back too, right? Kids are back to school after a long Christmas break. Parents are excited. Teachers, I don't know. We'll see. It's always hard to get started for the new year, but you know what? It's always great, right? It's always great. Yeah. New Year's resolutions. You know, the kids are having a great time, so yeah, it should be fun.
Yes, we keep all the teachers in our thoughts and prayers all across this country as we take on the children of the nation, developing the minds of tomorrow. It starts one day at a time, and that day is today, everybody.
Yep.
And so back to school, everybody. Hope you have a successful day. So 2025.
I know, this is it.
We ready?
This is it. We're ready. Are you ready?
You staying alive in 2025.
Staying alive, that's right.
And speaking of staying alive, we're staying alive because we got Bahamas Business Outlook coming up, and it's happening next week, January 16th at Bahama. This is the big one. This is the one about New Providence, about the Bahamas, and you just come and find out what's happening in the country, what's happening in the economy, mix up with the who's and the what's what. It's a great networking opportunity. So we're looking forward to seeing you there. It's going to be hybrid, so you can be online or in person. If you're in person, it's $300, virtually for $200. Register at tclevents.com or call us at 322-1000. See you there.
Sounds good. I'm gonna be there. You're gonna be there?
I can be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. And y'all
be
can be there too. We have an exciting lineup for you today. We're going to be hearing about Law Week in our Law Matters segment, and we're also going to be talking about financial goals for 2025.
That's right, and we're also going to be going a little bit back to hear about the Holy Trinity Christian School's Christmas production, A Night in Bethlehem. It was super cute, super cute. So I'm glad for everyone to see that. And then we also have the guy, you got to help me with this word.
Where we at?
We're at the Guinea Press. The Guinea Press
Oh,
is
yeah.
also here.
Babe,
They're
My
also
Library.
here. The My Library series is going to be super fun as well, taking you all back to the My Library series. So super fun day.
Super fun day. We had a super fun break, and now let's find out what the weather dealing with. It was a little cold over the weekend.
Still cold.
Godfrey!
Still cold.
It's lotion weather. What's
Yes.
happening with the weather?
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Mohammed. Your first look at weather at sunrise. Happy New Year, everybody, and I'm back. We do have high pressure now shifting towards the east, making way for a strong cold front to move here late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and that brings along with a surge of cold air for the week. We have another series of cold fronts, one on Thursday, another one Saturday. But today, partly sunny, breezy, and warm, high temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, partly cloudy and cool, a low going down to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 86 and 75. In Jamaica, 89 and 75. In Trinidad, 88 and 72. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 77 and 66. Across North America, Atlanta, 46 and 25. In Boston, 30 and 18. In Miami, 77 and 65. Dallas, Texas, 46 and 26. And Toronto, Canada, 24 and 18. As you the week, lovely you can store weather-wise, but we have a seasonal cold front that'll pass through, mustn't being dry. 1 or 2 little showers probably on Saturday. Temperature daytime, they'll be in the low to mid 70s at daytime and the low 60s to mid 60s at nighttime. We could pop up some 50s during the week as that cold front, as that first cold front moves through. That puts a wrap in your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Tommy.
Library screen, sorry.
Library screen. Okay. Quiet on
Oh boy. So Magnum turn going back on.
Thanks, Godfrey. The My Library series, sponsored by the Center for Digestive Health, is an attempt to encourage Bahamians to write, publish, and celebrate Bahamian literature. With me now are Patricia Glynn Miraculous, editor and author, and Nico Miraculous, artist, illustrator, and publisher. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Morning.
Thank you.
All right. So tell us, I mean, I know you've been writing for a while, right? So tell us a little bit about what inspires you to write.
Well, the thing is very nationalistic, and there are things, you know, we come out of a history of colonialism and slavery and all of this. Establishing a new nation, you have to have people who are fit to do it, who think, who create, and all of this. And believe me, to preserve the history of the people, the culture of the people, that occupies my time as a writer.
That's awesome. And I mean, that inspiration obviously is so important too. So, you know, we talked a little bit, I spoke with a couple of authors before, Bahamian authors, on just the importance of preserving our heritage. And even just, you know, how they get the stories and where they get the stories from. So, you know, where do you get your ideas from when you're putting a book together?
The thing is, I do several types of writing. One requires, of course, when you're writing history, that kind of thing, you have to do research, but also lived experience and creative. When I write poetry, that kind of thing, stories, short stories, my novel, it's about creativity. But also everything you do needs that research and thought.
Yeah, and that's so important. And what's your favorite piece that you've ever written?
Oh, that is so hard to say. I think it's probably my 3 collections of poetry.
Okay.
Yeah, because it incorporates a lot of thoughts I would like to share, especially I think Robin's Song, the collection of poems for children, I like very much. I read them for myself, for example, but it's to convey thought, to get people thinking more deeply and creatively. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, and did you know, like growing up when you were little, did you always want to be a writer? Where'd that come from? Where'd that passion come from?
Because both of my parents wrote beautifully, but of course they had to work to earn a living, no thought in their day of publishing or anything, but they wrote very well. The whole family read constantly, including the grandparents and all of that. So I was writing as soon as I knew myself, really.
That's awesome, that's awesome. And of course, you know, a book can't be great without its illustrator, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm not just the illustrator, I am actually the publisher. I've been running Gunima Press Limited for a long time, I mean 30 plus years. Actually, how we got started was because of Patty's books and, you know, just some disappointments that occurred, and I decided, hey, if everybody else could do this, I think I can as well, and that's how that, you know, process started. Now I do always try to create the covers for Patty's books. Has there ever been any that I have not done the illustration?
You've done them all.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy because when we first started with publishing and stuff like that, it was we used to paste boards and get poisoned by adhesive, spray adhesive, and all the rest of it. And then, at the time when we were starting, digital photography was coming on board, and now we have artificial intelligence.
Right.
And so, you can say to it, if you want a photograph I'd like this, you of course just have to check it to make sure it didn't give you, say, I want a woman with blue hair. You got to make sure she doesn't have 20 fingers and stuff like that, because that too is now in its infancy. But it's also a tool that I know a lot of people would be afraid of, but all these things with Gunima Press, we embraced it. We embraced when we went to digital print on demand and all the rest of that. We did that with our books as well.
But what you should say is that what is fantastic, the entire book that he does, the whole design, the layout, the creation of the pages and all this, goes to a big printer press as an electronic file. They don't need to do anything but plug it into that big machine. So the book is entirely created here in the Bahamas.
That's amazing, and that's so impressive.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I feel like there are so many people out there that can possibly write, and they may have their things written or it's in their digital file, but then it's the process of now publishing, right? So tell us a little bit about that process.
So one of the things I absolutely recommend to our people is this: everybody thinks they can write, and they'll get their friends to read it.
Right.
The first step of any of this, and I have even had people approach me. They haven't even started writing yet, and I want to be published. No, get your writing done first. You have nothing to start with. That's the first thing I encourage you, and I encourage you to write even your experience, whatever you think it is that you want, whatever fiction, whatever it is. But what I do recommend is that you get people who are trained to check your work before you even talk about, I want to be published. There are some books out there where, when you look through it, you go, but I get it, we're growing. I love to see what's happening. I love that everybody is making the effort. I love to see that, we Bahamians are daring. We're doing it. We're gonna do. Never mind, it's a little messy, but hey, we're doing it.
We're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that I absolutely encourage.
Quality is important.
Exactly. I totally agree. But that's how what our focus was. We spend a lot of time reading, proofing, going over. So we only accept, for example, a few books a year, because you take, for example, this one that this is volume 3.
Wow.
We are now working on volume 4.
Okay.
The first one was a serious task, you know what I mean? It was intense because we worked on it for 2 years.
Yes.
Thank God for the pandemic. It allowed us to really focus.
Wow.
Because we wanted as polished as possible.
And the importance of that series of books, I can't say enough about it. And so editing was my role is as one of the editors. And the proofing and all of this, and fact-checking, all of this is a part of publishing.
Wow,
and then,
amazing.
of course, he goes into the creation of the book and also does some editing and all of that along the way.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then we've also done collaborations, because people don't even realize that we produced this book.
That's amazing. And I've seen this one around.
Yes,
I've seen this one around, yeah.
Now, this one was with the Dangle Cord Project.
Okay.
We worked with Barbara Thompson before she died, and the Dangle Cord Project to produce this. This was her son and her son John Thompson and Nikita Shield-Roll at the time, who she did the photography, he did the illustrations for it, and we put the book together. And I could remember when Barbara approached us about it. It was, like I was trying to duck it and not do it, but she kind of insisted. But
that's amazing. I mean, we are just about out of time, but I mean, it's been such a pleasure having you on. I feel like we could have you on again. I mean, there's so much more to talk about. Great, great work. I mean, thank you so much for your contribution, obviously, and yours. You all are doing amazing things. There you have it. Miss Glinton and Nico also here. Such a pleasure having them on. So much to learn. So many wonderful stories. Thank Thank you so much for watching Bahamas at Sunrise.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
In the Bahamas, we're connected by more than just our islands. Now we're connected by Sand Dollar. It moves with you across many digital wallets. It doesn't matter if you use Bank of the Bahamas, Cash and Go, Island Pay, Canoe, Mobile Assist, MoneyMax, Suncash, or Omni. Sand Dollar, one currency and many wallets. It's inclusive, convenient, secure, and uniquely Bahamian. Embrace the future. Available for everyone on all Bahamian digital wallet apps.
African Things is your one-stop shop for everything African. Make a bold fashion statement with vibrant colors and intricate patterns inspired by the beauty of Africa. Find trendy contemporary looks for every occasion and enjoy custom tailoring. Shop jewelry, purses, art, cosmetics, and much more. African Things is located in the Dugard Plaza, Palmdale, next to McDonald's. Open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come get your African Things. Welcome back. Speaking of welcome back, it's back to school, back to traffic, back to all the good things, but it's also back to those little annoying illnesses that our children tend to come home with. And there seems to be a bug that's moving around. Today, we're speaking with Dr. Philip Swan. He is the acting director with the Department of Public Health to tell us what's happening with this strain of influenza and how we can protect ourselves and our children. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We're back. And all the sniffles and everything start already.
Well, that was a better way after. You came with us in the new year.
It seems so. We brought it into 2025. 2 out of my 4 are already coughing and has some runny noses and fevers. What's happening right now with this strain of flu that's going around?
So, as a Ministry of Health, Department of Public Health, we haven't necessarily received any additional unusual reports of any flu-like illnesses in the community. However, we would have sent out our initial, missive, you could say, at the beginning of December to remind persons we are entering the flu and cough season. We want persons to take necessary steps to prevent contracting and transmitting any respiratory illnesses. So, the same things that we would have been hearing about and practice during COVID, which is the cough etiquette, coughing in the tissue, coughing in the corner of your arms, discarding out, sanitizing, wearing a mask if you have respiratory symptoms, are the same things that we're talking about now. We still want you to do those things. In addition to that, we would have a flu vaccine. Children, as well as to persons with non-communicable diseases, such as hypertension, mostly diabetes and cancer.
It seems like in 2024, the sicknesses didn't end. It just feels like it evolved. And When one of my children was sick, and the next one got it, and it was just this roundhouse of illness that kept happening. Have these flu strains been changing? Are they evolving and adapting, or is this the same old flu strain we had back when we were children?
Well, from what we have been able to track, you know that the strains are evolving, definitely. And there are a number of strains that are happening in other animals as well, that we're keeping an eye out. So it depends on what strain you get. We're still trying to do more of the surveillance mechanisms, trying to get our healthcare providers more involved and taking swabs and sending them into the reference lab so we can have a better idea as to what's circulating out there. Because our information is only as good as the information that we get from those persons who are actually seeing the sick persons.
Right. And you know, we speaking of information, we have to rely on reliable information. But I've been seeing the forwards come around about some virus that's popping up in somewhere in the east, and you know, everyone starts to get that feeling again of COVID. Is that something that we should be concerned about?
But I would say to you that the Ministry of Health has its eye and ear on what's happening in the world. We are tracking and we're listening that, of course, the WHO, and then we would therefore say to you that the Ministry of Health should be and the Department of Public Health by extension should be your source of information for health matters in the Bahamas specifically. Right. We have our contacts with the CDC, with the NHS, with Canadian public health agencies, as well as with the World Health Organization, and we have, of course, a network of Caribbean counterparts who are able to help us, not just help us, but share the information as we go from time to time to make sure that we are not missing anything. In addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, we are relying on our physician body, our medical health services, to identify persons who may have these strains of something that's not acting as right as it should be acting. And send swabs in. Let us test those swabs. We have the capacity to test them and see what's going on out there. We do have sentinel testing in our facilities in the country, over 99 centers, and as well as in the public sector. So just want to put that person's, I guess, increase the sensitivity and reduce the threshold to swab and send in to the department for us to evaluate.
That's awesome. So if we have somebody that's sick right now, a sensitive person, whether it's a child, an elderly person, or someone who has a non-communicable disease already, what are the symptoms that are now abnormal? That, you know, because you might see a runny nose, you see a cough and a fever, but what are some other symptoms we should possibly be looking out for that we wouldn't recognize? So I mean, when I say abnormal, it's not less abnormal symptoms, but the behavior of the symptoms. So if you're taking your cough medicine or you're taking a fever reducer, and of course you should stay away from aspirin, but if you're taking those fever reducers and you're not getting the pain relief needing, you're not getting the fever reduction that you require, as well as if you're taking your antihistamines and your decongestants and they're not working for you, then it is, I think, time for you to bump it up, see a physician, and get a further assessment to make sure that you're actually diagnose the right thing at home and that you're being treated appropriately for what it is that you have. But of course, I would say to you as well, you talk about circulating things coming around and around. Cough etiquette, respiratory etiquette, hand sanitizations, wearing a mask if you have the sniffles or cough. We still have to do that stuff? I thought that was finished, man. No more masks and sanitizers? Again, it's respiratory illness. It doesn't change if it's COVID, if it's the flu, if it's a regular cold, quote unquote, or rhinovirus. So it spreads the same way. And we want to make sure that we are trying to reduce persons who are exposed to it so that we don't have any bumper swelling or bumper, numbers, and then persons start to get panicky and all the kind of stuff we don't necessarily need. So we're gearing up for school this week. People are getting their kids ready for school this morning. What are the things they should be looking out for? And when do you make the call that I am not sending my child to school to not spread something? Right. So I think the rule of thumb is if your child is having a fever, if your child is having problems breathing, if your child has some difficulty with just basically taking care of their daily toilet, we call it toilet, which is maybe blowing their nose and coughing properly, then keep them at home. Right. If they can wear a mask, by all means, tolerate a mask, let them go to school with a mask on. Reach in the back of your closet, in the pantry, find that little hand sanitizer that's still there from 2 or 3 years ago, put it in their bag, remind them to use it. Of course, get them tissues so they can have the ability to blow their nose and throw that in the garbage as opposed to using a hand towel or a handkerchief, which carries the germ from place to place. Right. So those are type of things. Of course, give your child the medication at home. Don't get the teacher, give it to it. Right. That's more work for the teacher. Before they leave, give it to medication, and then when you get pick them up in the afternoon, it's another dose of medication. And again, if you have any concerns, reach out to your primary care provider, whether it be a pediatrician or general practitioner or family medicine provider, for that information and guidance if you're having specific concern about the illness that you or your child or even relative is experiencing. Perfect, because it's that time of year, and so everybody knows running, everyone's coughing, right? And so we want to make sure we're not spreading it. We're teaching our children proper hygiene.
Correct.
We talk about using hand sanitizers, masks, sending them with tissues, teaching them how to wash their hands, how to cough. Any other last minute advice or anything else you want to say to
Yes,
parents?
the flu vaccine. Go and get an influenza vaccine. It's available in all of our clinics as well as in the private sector. And whereas it is beneficial to prevent persons from getting the flu.
Right.
It would stop all the flu, but it would reduce the number of flu that you are susceptible to getting.
Awesome. And if people want to find out more information and get reliable and credible information about possible illnesses and health threats here in the Bahamas, how do they do that?
So right now we're in the middle of ramping up our campaign, public education awareness campaign in the Department of Public Health. But at this point in time, the Ministry of Health has a Facebook page. We're going to launch our Department of Public Health Facebook page later on this month, as well as a website. And we're going to have billboards and other social media aspects going out as well. So we are actually at the right time to use that vehicle to spread the word and to allow persons to have greater access to the information that they would need on a regular basis.
Fantastic. Feel like we're more equipped for a new school year, kicking off 2025 with all of the right advice from Dr. Swan and the crew with the Department of Public Health. We thank you for all the work that you do and giving us the information we need to stay healthy and not spread the flu around.
Correct.
So thank you again for being here this morning, and I'll give you an update on what's happening with my 2 of 4 snotty children. Thanks again for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. Break out the mask and the sanitizer, and remember to cough in your elbow, everybody, and don't carry a handkerchief. It ain't the 1960s. We'll be right back.
When it comes to the big things, when it comes to envisioning the future we'd like to build, I'd like to believe we can agree. We want a free, fair, and prosperous country in which every citizen is treated with dignity and blessed with opportunity